Ever felt, inexplicably glued to your seat? Especially maybe as you get older. Today, in the deep dive, we're digging into some really surprising insights from a new study in BMC Public Health. It unpacks why some older adults spend so much time sitting, and what really helps others stay more active. Our mission really is to distill these findings so you can understand the hidden factors influencing movement.
And it's a critical topic. Let's first get a handle on the sheer scale of this challenge. Globally, older adults are spending, on average, 9.4 hours per day sedentary.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something like 65 to 80% of their waking hours. And this isn't just about, being comfortable. It's a major health risk. It's strongly linked to increased risk of chronic diseases, obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, cancer, dementia, even accelerated aging and higher mortality. Just for context, the Canadian 24-hour movement guidelines, they recommend older adults aim for no more than 8 hours of sedentary time daily.
9.4 hours average versus an 8-hour recommendation. That's quite a gap.
Yeah.
So the big question is why? Why are so many older adults sitting so much? And what sets the more active group apart? That's exactly what this study tried to figure out, using a pretty clever framework, actually, to get at the driving factors. They did these semi-structured interviews, right? And they classified people as sedentary, that's the ones sitting over 8 hours a day, or non-sedentary, who were at or under that mark. And they didn't just list things. They mapped their findings using this model, the SCIOMB model.
Right, COMB. And what's fascinating is how clearly the two groups contrasted across those COMB components. This framework, it stands for capability, opportunity, motivation, and behavior. It's really powerful because it helps us look beyond just, willpower and pinpoint the different things driving a behavior, or maybe the lack of a behavior. So take capability. This is about knowing how and having the skills to do something. A surprising thing for many sedentary older adults was a real knowledge gap. One person literally said, I don't know about sedentary behavior, just wasn't on their radar. They also often lacked effective ways to interrupt sitting. They might get up when they felt hungry, but not because of a conscious strategy or, say, an electronic prompt. And interestingly, relaxing things like playing mahjong or watching TV, they often became triggers for prolonged sitting.
So leisure time could actually backfire if you're not careful.
Exactly. But then you look at the non-sedentary group, they generally had a better grasp. One mentioned sitting for a long time affected the body's meridians, referring to traditional health ideas. And they'd spontaneously break up their sitting time, sometimes using smart devices for reminders. One person mentioned, if I've been looking at my phone for too long, it automatically reminds me, you need to rest.
Okay, so capability is about knowing and having those practical strategies. That's a key difference.
Yeah.
But, okay, even if you know you should move more, what about the world around you? How did opportunity, the social side, the environment, how did that play out?
Good question. Huge factor. For the sedentary older adults, there was often a clear lack of social support. Many flat out said things like, I don't have any social or environmental support. Sometimes work demands, even just their home setup, kind of reinforced sitting for long periods. But on the flip side, the non-sedentary folks, they often benefited from strong encouragement, family, friends pushing them gently, and they were adaptable. They used daily tasks like housework or grocery shopping as ways to avoid sitting too long. Some even saw retirement as a chance, an opportunity for more movement.
That really underlines how important our surroundings and our social circles are, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes you think about the subtle ways our own homes or maybe social habits might be keeping us seated without us realizing. Okay, so we've got capability, knowing how, and opportunity, the environment. What about the internal drive? What about motivation, their beliefs, their confidence?
Yeah. Motivation was another stark contrast. The sedentary individuals often expressed a real lack of confidence. One participant admitted, confidence doesn't seem to be high. I can't avoid sitting, just feeling stuck. And many actually preferred the comfort of sitting, even if they sort of knew the risks.
Comfort versus health, a classic struggle.
It is. But the non-sedentary older adults, much higher motivation, much more confidence. They firmly believed things like, improving sedentary behavior is good for health. I'm confident. Big difference. And crucially, they acted on it. They developed habits like making sure to stand up and move their legs after sitting for a bit.
So tying this all together, what does this mean for you listening? This deep dive really highlights that just telling people to sit less isn't enough, right? Interventions need to be super targeted. The study specifically suggests that future mobile health tools, home health apps and things should really focus on overcoming these specific barriers we talked about. Things like embedding education, self-monitoring tools, prompts, goal-setting features, maybe even social support elements, and tailoring it, even down to specific activities like watching TV or playing games like Mahjong.
Exactly. If we zoom out a bit, it's clear that cutting down on sitting isn't just about having more willpower. It's really about addressing these fundamentals, your capability, your opportunities, and your motivation. All three shape those daily habits.
Which leads to, I think, a really important question for everyone listening. How might understanding your own daily routines and thinking about those capability, opportunity, motivation factors that are at play for you, how might that help you, or maybe something you care about, rethink how you move throughout the day? The insights here, they really get you thinking about the power of small changes and getting the right kind of tailored support to promote a more active and ultimately a healthier life.